My name's Nancy. This is Strength and Stretch. Today we're going to be working with balance and coordination while we're lifting. You'll need 2 sets of weights. You'll need a sturdy chair because we're going to do foot massage before we start balancing and lifting. And your 2 blocks, if you have them nearby, that would be great. Your blanket, 2 blankets or towels would be helpful. And at the end, if you have anything for a chest stretch, like you could use a bolster, foam roller, or your blankets and towels, that would be fine. And if you want to just make your way to a wall space so you can straighten up your posture before we get started, pushing your heels towards the wall, your glutes towards the wall, roll your shoulders back and down, and then the back of the head to the wall, and something might not fit. Or you could be making it fit. You could be like arching your back more or cranking your neck more. So we don't want to do that. You want to just stay upright. If you need to arch your back more, walk your feet away. If you need to crank your head more, just lift the back of your skull a little bit so your ears are over your shoulders and your head doesn't touch the wall. And then turn your palms so they face away from you. And this is your upright posture. Technically, whether it feels comfortable or not, we've all, had habits and things happen to us throughout the years that have changed the posture. Try rolling your shoulders back and down and see if that opens your chest anymore. And then bending your elbows into cactus 90 degrees at your elbows, straight out from your shoulders, and try pushing your fingertips up and then lowering your elbows down and then pushing your fingertips up and lowering your elbows down. Try one more time, just push up and then lower down. And straightening your arms, your palms away, and you're just going to try to make a snow angel. Whether it's you're in season or not for snow angels, whether the weather would be right or not. And then bring your arms, hands back down. Keeping your arms and hands as close to the wall as you can. Just trying to make that circle up. When your hands need to come off the wall, bring them off the wall. And remember about trying to keep the arch of your back the same versus trying to push your hands back. So if one has to change, have it be your hands, not your back. Same thing with your arch, your natural curve in your cervical spine. Good, and pushing off from the wall, try to hold that upright posture without the benefit of the wall telling you what's straight up and what's not straight up. And then you can turn and face the wall, have your arms shoulder height, hands on the wall, press firmly into the wall, and then bend your elbows and lean your chest in, and then straighten your elbows and push away. So you can lean into the wall, and then you can push away from the wall, just warming up a little bit your upper body with your wall push-ups. Trying to keep those ears in line with your shoulders and your chin tucked. Trying to keep that posture, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles all in line, even though that you're leaning in and you're leaning out. Try 4 more. And when you're finished your 4, keep your shape, keep the same spot. And try to step your right foot back, put your heel down, bend your left knee, keeping your upright posture, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles lined up, and get that calf stretch. We've been working on stretching out the calf a little bit to begin with. And then when you feel the stretch in your calf, putting a baby bend in that knee so that you could get into the soleus, which is a little deeper muscle. than your gastroc in your calves. So you get a little bit deeper by softening that knee a little bit. And it may lift your heel up a little bit. And then step together, stay in the same shape, but take your left leg back and put your heel down and bend your right knee and lean in towards the wall, softening your elbows if you want or need to. Feel the stretch in your calf first. Feel that first. And then when you are comfortable knowing how that feels, a slight bend in your left knee to try to get deeper. And then step together and roll your shoulders back and down. You can come back to your spot. We're just going to pre-assess before we do the foot massage, getting right into that to begin with. If you put your hands on your hips, your toes pointed, well, let's stay in your upright posture with your palms forward, just like you were against the wall. And then put your hands on your hips. Hinge at your hips, lead with your chest, and go down about wherever you can go, halfway-ish, and slowly come up, and then go down again and hold that. Hold that until you notice how it feels in your body. Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it tight? Was it loose? And slowly come up. And then again, take the right foot back, but this time keep your left knee straight and hinge at your hips. Go halfway-ish, wherever you can go, and then slowly come back. And you're going to go down again. Just notice and hold that. How does the back of your front leg feel, your back leg? How about your hips, your spine? And slowly come up. Step together. Step back with your left foot. Put your heel down. Your right knee is straight, drawing that right hip back a little bit. Hinge at your hips. And then come back up. And hinge at your hips again. And then hold that until you notice how you feel behind your front leg, your back leg, your hips, your spine. Pull your belly in, and then slowly come up and step together back into your mountain pose. Then let's get your chair. Finding your chair, you're going to sit in the front half of it with your knees over your ankles. You're nice and steady, no soft cushy chairs. You're going to keep your ears, shoulders, and hips lined up, and we're just going to work on your feet a little bit. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Taking your left hand, let's go left hand under your heel and right hand over the top of your ball mound. So you've got your right hand's over near the top of your toes, the ball mound of your foot. And then that wringing out of the rag. So if you had a dish rag and you turned the top of your foot one way gently and the heel of your foot the other way gently, and just wring it out for a minute. Back and forth. Not so that it hurts or it's painful, because your foot isn't really designed to do this, although it has to move in certain ways just to get you, get you through the day, everything that you do through the day. And then release that, and taking your fingers on your left hand, try putting your fingers between your toes. They might not fit, or they might, just making space wherever you can make space. If you hold your ankle with your right hand, and then just bend, point and flex from your ball mound of your foot to your toes. And your joints weren't really made to do this, but try just gently going side to side a little bit. And then maybe rotating a little bit. And then go ahead and flex and point from your ankle to your toes. So now your whole foot is involved. And then you can relax that and release release your fingers, wiggle your fingers and toes. Taking your thumbs, start with your heel, and you're going to press your thumbs into your heel and push up towards your toes. So you're giving yourself a massage or getting some circulation going down there. And then move into your instep, and you have your inner side from your big toe to the inner part of your heel. There's a tendon there that could use a little help. And then you have the softer part, and then you have the outer edge, the outer arch of your foot, which is straighter and harder from your instep. And then move the massaging to the ball mound and try to get that fleshy part that's underneath your toes activated and woken up and going a little bit. And then the bottom of your toes, make sure you get all of them, just massaging them, rubbing them. All right, and then put that foot down. You're gonna find your outer side of your heel. So the outer, above your heel on the outer side. And take your thumbs again and massage down into the top of that heel bone. And try to find, or maybe you can find a little recess in your leg where your tendon is. It comes together towards your heel, and then that goes over towards the midway of your foot, which is right where we were trying to get a little movement wringing out your foot. All right, so let's stand up just for a moment. Find your mountain pose, toes pointing forward. Notice your right side. And then what does that feel like without even moving, just standing there? I mean, you can tell me after class, but I can tell a difference. A lot of difference, as a matter of fact. So when we do our post-assessment, we can talk about that. Sitting back down, you're going to be on the edge of your chair, your sit bones pressed in, and then cross your left ankle over your right foot. Which is a good kind of a four square stretch here, seated four square. So take your left hand on top of the ball mound or on top of your foot and your right hand under your heel, and you're just going to turn the top one way and the heel the other way, kind of bringing out the rag, getting some movement in there that you might not ordinarily get this movement, but who knows where we're stepping or how we're stepping, or if you're hiking and you go over roots and gravel. And all right, good. And your right hand, take your fingers and push your fingers between your toes. Fit them however they're going to fit. And you can use your left hand to gently hold your ankle, and you're just going to point and flex from your ball mound of your foot to the tip of your toes. It's not hard and fast, just gentle. You're trying to get some space in there, maybe a little fluid, a little movement. And then gently side to side, even though those joints aren't side to side joints. And rotation a little bit, just to see if you can get some movement there. And then you're going to go pointing and flexing your foot, whole foot from your ankle to your toes. And you can rotate too through your ankle if you want. And release that. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and find your thumbs. We all know where those are. And you're going to use those to massage the bottom of your foot. You can go from your heel up to your toes, or your heel in the direction towards your toes. So get your heel first, where you can feel like that's been stimulated. And then the arch of your foot, the soft part, yes, but try to get that little stronger, tougher part from the ball mound to the inner edge of the heel, and also the outer arch, which is straighter and harder. And then move to underneath your ball mound of your foot, the fleshy part there. Get that going. And then go underneath your toes. Make sure you get them all, more than once. You're just trying to get some circulation, some movement, some pressure. And then you can release that and try to go towards the outer heel bone, taking your thumbs and pressing down. It's usually right towards the very top of that heel bone is where you can get some release. Okay, standing up, steady through both feet, come into your mountain pose. And how does that feel now, your right side and your left side? Maybe you feel your left side more because that's what we just did, and your right side has had a chance to sink into it a little bit. Maybe it feels warmer or tinglier or more at ease, or maybe your feet feel flatter or wider. I don't know, you decide what you feel your own self, and bring your hands to your hips, and let's just do the post assessment. So hinge at your hips and lead with your chest and come down. Right away, what do you feel? But come back up and then come back down again. So hopefully, right away, you feel more ease than you did the first time. Maybe you can get lower, maybe not. Maybe one side feels different from the other. Slowly come back up, and then you're going to step your right foot back and put your heel down, and hinge at your hips, lead with your chest, come back up. Right away, can you feel that, oh, that is easier than it was the first time? And then go down and hold it. Pay attention to the back of the front leg, the back leg, your hips, your spine. What about steadiness? Can you feel any difference in steadiness? And then come back up and step together. Take your left foot back, put your heel down, draw your right hip back, and we're going to hinge at the hips, lead with the chest, and then slowly come up. And then go back down and hold it. And as you go back down and hold it, take the time to check in the back of the front leg, the back of the back leg, your hips, spine, and then slowly come up. Good. Release that, shake out whatever you need to. You can move your chair to the side, and we're going to do, as I said, balance and coordination while we do weights today. So pick up one heavier weight. Hold the heavier weight in your left hand, and your left elbow is going to be right at your front rib cage, so it's not going to go behind you. You're going to keep it in front of you with your palm facing away. Shift your weight into your left leg by bending your right knee, and then slowly put it down. So you're shifting your weight, you're using your knee lift to do that, keeping this hip pulled in line when you shift your weight. And you can also notice how your core works whenever you lift your knee. And then we're going to add a bicep curl to the knee lift. Try to control the speed going down, because gravity is going to want to, and your wish to balance is going to pull that right foot down faster. So you're going to try to lift and lower the same speed, your arm and your leg, without letting gravity control your speed. Let's do 4 more, 3 more, let's switch sides. Your right hand has the weight. Your right elbow is by your rib cage. It's not going to slide because we're trying to isolate the bicep. And then practice your left knee lift, keeping your right hip in line. And lifting that knee, which is, it shifts your center of gravity, forces you to balance on your right leg. And then start with the bicep curl. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. You're not lifting all the way, and you're not lowering all the way. You're keeping some bit of challenge there, resistance there. I'm going to go for 8 here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, good. Okay, safely bend at your knees and pick up your same other weight. I'm going to turn sideways just for a minute here. So let's take a lower body lunge. Step forward, heel, ball, toe, front knee over your ankle, bend your back knee, and then push off. So heel, ball, toe, stepping forward, toes stay forward, knees over your ankle, and push off. So try that lunge and get a good rhythm for yourself. If you want it to be more challenging, you can go lower, or you could take a wider stride, or you could keep it just stepping forward and back. You choose how you want to be. Try 4 more just of the lunges so you can get the lower body before we add on. All right, now we're going to add the bicep curl. So as you step forward, bicep curl. Elbows stay front of your side seam line. You're lifting your weights up towards your shoulders as you step forward. We're going to do 8 more. That's 4 on each side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, roll your shoulders back and down. Turn your head side to side. Safely put one weight down. And you might want a chair for this. You do not have to have a chair for this. But it's going to be balance, coordination, and strength all at the same time. So the first thing you're going to do is bring your weight next to your chest. So putting your weight into your right leg, just try kicking your left heel back. Just a left heel kick back. If you want to hold on to your chair, you're welcome to do that. But as you notice, with your weight next to your chest, your elbow is now behind your back, and it's going to stay back there. So when you kick back, straighten your elbow. Come back in, bend your elbow. Kick back, straighten, come back in and bend. You can hold your chair, your wall, or try to do this without any aids in balance. Kicking back through your heel, straightening your elbow. So the tricep works the hardest when you straighten your elbow, the straight part behind your back. Your glutes work the hardest in this movement when your heel is kicked back as much as it can. 6, 5. You can tap your foot down if you want to, or you can really challenge yourself and try not to. 3, engage your core. 2, and 1. All right, stepping down. If you're using your chair, you'll need it for the other side. You're going to be putting your weight into your left leg. Bend your right elbow. Start with the lower body. Kick your right heel back. So not like you're pointing your toe. It's like your foot is flexed. You're kicking your heel behind you. Once you get that movement down, and your left leg is your stabilizer, then you're going to straighten your right arm and bend. You can notice how much your core has to work too to help you with that movement. Your tricep is working the hardest when your arm is straightened behind you. Let's go for 8, 7. You know, when you're pushing down with that left leg into the earth, that's increasing your bone density. So you're just having gravity pull down on you, 4 more, and you're pushing down through that foot while you balance and stabilize, 2 more. That's all bone density too. You don't have to just have a weight in your hand to improve your bone density. Okay, so now pick up your same weight, and we're going to do a tricep here. I'm turning sideways just for a minute to get the lower body part. Sit back, body weight in your heels, feels like your toes can come up. Sit back and down, push up. Sit back and down, push up. Sit back and down. Try 4 more squats. So your body's going to stay upright diagonally. It goes diagonal a little bit, but you're not bending over looking at the floor. You're sitting back. And now your weights are by your chest. Your elbows are behind your back. So sit back, straighten your arms, bend them, stand up. Sit back, straighten, bend, stand up. Sit back, straighten, bend, stand up. Sit back, straighten, bend, stand up. Sit back, good. And we're going to try 6 more. Engage your core. Four more. Body weights in your heels. 2 more. Good. All right, then relax your arms to the side. Let the weight of your weights carry your arms long, and try to feel some release all the way up to the top of your shoulders. And we're going to switch now, still balance and coordination, but shoulders. So I suggest going lighter, but you know where you're at more than I do. So if you put your weight in your left hand, and our first movement, we're going to start with lower body, is to lift your right leg. And you're going to try to lift and lower without coming down really fast. So you're going to try to lift almost like a pause and down. Lift, trying to lift with your heel rather than toe. So you're trying to lift with your heel. I know, it's hard. Your stabilizer is your left leg. And then we're going to try to lift to the left and come back in. And this might actually be easier than just the leg lift, because the weight in your hand kind of counterbalances the weight as your leg goes out. You can decide what you think. If your hand is on your hip, you can notice how much your core works for this. And lift only shoulder height. 8. Try to get the same speed. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, relax that. And then we're going to go for the other side. So your hand is going to be, your weight is going to be in your right hand. And you're going to start by trying to lift your left leg with your heel first. Just so when you go with your heel first, what I want your brain to connect to is your glute. So we're trying to do glutes first. And you feel yourself in your core. And then you're going to lift your right arm, left leg, right arm, left leg, right arm, left leg, right arm, left leg. Good. Try 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you got it, good. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Pick up your other same weight, bending at the knees. Go to one end of your mat, and then we're just going to start with the lower body. Your palms can face your thighs, and you're going to take 2 steps. And 2 steps back. So you're stepping out 2 times and coming back. And then you're going to lift up in front, lift and lower. And lift and lower. Lift and lower. All right, we got 8 coming up. 8. You can do one arm then the other if you choose to. It would look like this. 6. Keeping your wrists straight and solid. 5. 4 more. Last one. All right, and then just relax. Let your weights carry your arms long. Roll through your shoulder if it feels good. You turn and look right, keeping your chest forward. And then turn and look left, keeping your chest forward. And then take a wide stance. So this is part of balance too, right? Your stance is wide, but your toes and knees are pointed out to the corners of your mat or to the corners of your room. You're going to try to bend your knees, but keep your knees open and your feet from rolling in. So avoiding any of this motion. You want to try to keep yourself open. When you're down, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes, and push yourself up. And then when you go down, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes, and push yourself up. Trying to be steady. Nice wide, I'm going to call it a plie. I don't know how many people took ballet in their lives. This might be wider than a grand plie. Now, if you want to keep doing just this, do it. If you want to add on, make a 90-degree bend at your elbows by your rib cage. So when you go down, elbows sweep back. When you go up, arms come forward a little bit. Down, elbows sweep back. Come up, arms forward. It's not straight arms in front. Just keep them soft. And you don't have to pull your elbows back as far as they'll go. You're trying to sweep your elbows behind your back. That'll work your back and the back shoulders. Anytime your elbows are behind your back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now stay there with your legs and relax your arms. You can stay here with your hands on your thighs, or bring your hands to your waist, or you could come into cactus arms. If you come into cactus arms, draw your elbows back a little bit, and then bending, and then try straightening. Go slow, bending, and try straightening. If you choose to stay low, you could always lift your elbows and keep the weights right by your ribs. Try 4 more of these of your own. Good, good, good. All right, bending at your knees, safely put your weights down, find one of your blocks. And you can do this without the block, honestly. So you make a choice, because it might not feel safe. I'm going to put my block down and put my right foot on the block, and then stand on it. If you would rather stand on your mat, just do that, okay? And then your body weight is all in your right leg, however you're standing, and you're going to try pumping your left knee. You could hold your chair if you wanted to, have it there, but you want to try to keep all the weight in your right leg, and then not shift back to the left side when you tap your left toe. So you're working through your core, you're stabilizing through your glutes, and you're moving. Let's try 8, 7, 6. You could pump your arms if you want a little cardio in there. All right. And then shifting sides. You're going to go here. If you want your chair, do it. So put your left foot on the block, stand on it, or stand on your mat, and you're simply going to have all your weight left and tap your right toe back. So you're not shifting back, you're just pumping that knee. You can shift your arms. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can keep your hands over your heart. You choose what you want to do. But all of your support, and this is getting your bone density up, 8, 7, because you're pushing into the ground. Gravity's pulling down on you. You're working your balance. 3, 2, 1. All right. And then release that. Good. We're going to get on the floor. I want you to have a heavy weight nearby. The first thing we're going to do, though, is on your knees. So depending on how you're set up, if your floor is not soft enough, you might want a blanket underneath your knees, and you'll need the blocks. And we're going to take a stretch here, and then we're going to move on to core. So if you're on your hands and knees, your hands can be a little bit wider than your shoulders, your knees down from your hips, but that might change. That's just your starting spot. I'm going to give myself plenty of room to shift forward or back. Inhale your right leg behind you, bend your knee, flex your foot, round your back up to the sky, and try to step that right foot through to your right thumb. You might take 2 or 3 steps, or you might pull your foot through. And then can your left knee slide back at all? So here you want to be, knee over your ankle, points in the same direction as your toes. Your diagonal, your torso is diagonal. Your gaze is somewhere out in front of you, diagonally. Your neck is long. It's not looking down. It's not looking up. I want you to feel your left hip crease or hip flexors open. So lengthen, or not lengthen, but try to make your hips feel heavy. And then let gravity do the work pulling it down this time. This time we're using gravity instead of resisting gravity. And then start to straighten your right knee and walk your blocks back. You can change the height if you want to. Set your hips back towards that heel, wherever you can go. Flexing your right foot will help a little bit more stretch. If you want less stretch, you could try releasing your left foot. Just sitting back into a half split. And then shift forward again, bend your right knee, switch with your blocks, slide them forward, curl your back toe under, lift your back knee. And then again, try to imagine that your hips are heavy. Gravity's pulling down on them. Or you could imagine a 50-pound weight sitting on your hips and trying to push down and get that left hip crease, that left hip flexor open. And then one last one on this side. From here, start to straighten your front knee. You can move your blocks. You can change the height if you need to, moving your hands to your thigh, or you can narrow your stride a little bit, trying to keep your spine as long as you can. So it's not about, we're not trying to round the back, we're trying to stay long. If you want to relax your neck and your head, you can do that. So maybe you're even looking towards the back knee. Bend your front knee again and put your back knee down. Then step your knees side by side. And rearrange yourself into your tabletop, hands and knees, with your blocks under your hands a little wider than your shoulders. Inhale your left leg behind you. Bend your left knee, flex your left foot, round your back up, and step through towards your left thumb. Now you lengthen your spine, so unround your back. Your knee is going to be over your ankle, same direction as your toes, and you're opening up your hip crease. If I said the wrong side, just switch. You know what I mean. Okay, so now you're lengthening that right hip flexor. And start to straighten your left leg, lift your toes, and sit your hips back into a half split. Try to keep your spine long. So you're not trying to round over and touch your nose to your knee or anything. You're just trying to sit back. Draw your left hip back a little bit. And then shift forward, bending your knee. Shift your blocks, change the height of your blocks. Curl your back toe under and lift your back knee. And let your hips be heavy. So that right hip flexor is straightening out, lengthening. And then start to straighten your front leg. You can move your blocks, you can change the height. You could use your thigh to lean on if you want to. If you want to relax your neck and your head and look back, that's another choice. You could do each movement and notice how that changes sensation in your body. And bend that front knee. You can move your blocks again. Put your back knee down, top of foot down, and then put your knees side by side. Move both of your feet to the right. And then walk your hands towards your knees so that you can sit down. Extend your legs out in front. Slide on your mat, so when you lay down, you're going to be centered on your mat. And we're going to move into some core work. Make sure you have a blanket or a towel folded underneath where your head's going to be. So you're going to set yourself up. And then when you lay down, just making sure your head's on the blanket or towel, and you can stack your hands underneath your head. Drop your elbows out. So if your elbows can touch the floor, great, let them. If not, keep them just as wide as they're going to go. Then bending both of your knees. Thinking about your hip tip to your rib cage, this whole band here in your core, and take a breath in. As you exhale, just lift your shoulders. Don't change anything else. Inhale, lower your shoulders. Exhale, lift your shoulders. Use the muscles in your belly. Lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. If your elbows start to come up, then you're going to try to relax them out again. So see if you can get your brain connected with your core. Try 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just relax. You can keep your hands behind your head. Notice the shape of your back. So how does that curve of your back feel? And then try lifting your right leg into tabletop and your left leg into tabletop. And then notice between your hip tips that your transverse abdominal, the one that goes sideways, horizontal, is also engaged more than it was. Try straightening your right leg to the sky, bending your right knee. Straighten your left leg to the sky, bend your left knee. Straighten your right leg, bend it. Straighten your left leg, bend it. Right leg straightens and bends. Left leg straightens and bends. One more time each side. Straighten and straighten. Now try straightening both legs. And this you can do, either stay with straight legs or do straighten and bend, straighten and bend. So you're straight to start with and then bend. Otherwise, try your right leg, lower your right leg. Bring it back up. Lower your left leg. Bring it back up. Turn your toes out a little bit so your heels are closer together. So you're either bending your right leg and straightening it if you feel your back has pressure on it, or you're lowering your right leg and lifting it back up. Try 8, that's 4 on each side. Still breathe. It's easy to forget to breathe. 4 more. And then bend your knees. You can bring your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit if it feels good to. And check out your back. Is there any tension in your back? And can you release it if there is? Then stack your hands under your head again. And you're going to go into tabletop. Your legs, hips and knees are 90 degrees. Now, I want you to tap your right toe, but don't bend your knee. So you're not going to bend your knee to tap it. You're going to try to tap it with your 90-degree bend. So it's almost like extending it a little bit. And if you feel like it's too much pressure on your back, just hold your tabletop. Otherwise, try a toe tap with a 90-degree knee. not bending your knee to get your toe closer to the ground. Try 4 more. 3 more. We all have different backs, right? So pay attention to yours. You know yours better than I do. And coming back into tabletop, and you can bring your knees to your chest and just relax. So let's try another variation of this tabletop and leg extension. So if you bring your legs to tabletop, hands behind your head, so you can always catch your head in your hands. Extend your right leg. Lift your shoulders and point your right shoulder towards your left knee. This is just shoulder to knee. It's not a great big athletic elbow past your knee thing. It's subtle Pilates thing. And then switch. Left shoulder towards right knee. And you can even aim it towards the inside of your knee, really. And then switch. Left to right, right to left. Left to right. Your option here, too, is to bend and then straighten your legs straight up to the sky if extending them out puts pressure in your back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bend your knees back into your chest. Give your knees a squeeze. You can either roll onto your side and push yourself up, or hold your thighs and rock yourself up. Just seated for a moment, if you want to, sit on one of your blankets. If your hips are higher than your legs, even by a little bit, sometimes you can keep your spine straighter. So we're going to go out wide for this. You're going to need to move these babies. The hips a little bit higher than your legs. And then lengthen your spine. Inhale your arms out to the side. As you exhale, move your left hand towards your right foot. So you're reaching, but try to keep your sit bones down. Stop reaching when that left hip wants to roll up. Getting that nice big stretch through your side obliques. And then inhale your way back to center. And exhale and reach right hand to left. You might, as you do more of these, as you get into the movement, you might find that you can reach further, a little further each time. So we're upright in the center, reaching for opposite foot, trying to keep your sit bones down as much as you can, and reach. Out and reach. Two more. Good. And then coming back up, shaking your knees. You can bring your legs together. And we're going to prepare for the chest stretch. So you're either going to use a foam roller, lay all the way down on the top. You have to sit on the very, very end of the foam roller. And then lay down so that the foam roller becomes another spine for you. If you have a bolster, you're going to use the bolster, but you're not sitting on the bolster. If you're using a bolster, you're sitting on the mat. And your legs are bent. And you have something, a blanket or a towel underneath your head on one end of the bolster. And you're going to lay yourself back here. Turn your palms to the sky, knees are bent. And then if you're using your blankets or towels, you're going to roll one of them up, wide side, and put that horizontally on your mat where your shoulder blades would be. And then you're going to take your other blanket, fold it up, and put it where your head would be. And then supporting yourself with your hands to lay yourself down and adjust your blankets where you need to be. Palms up, knees bent, and relaxing. You did a lot of good work today, so give your body a moment to benefit from all that work. And a moment to release anything that feels tense or stressed. Slow your breath down. A long, slow breath in and feeling your belly rise, your ribs rise, your chest rise. And a long, slow breath out and feel your belly lower, your chest lower, or your ribs lower and your chest lower. And then think about, on the exhale, softening. Is there a way for you to soften your body or anything in your body with each exhale? Is it hard to slow yourself down? We talked about this before class. Can you slow yourself down? Can you say no to something that isn't really that important? Do you want to say no? Or do you want to go, go, go? All things for your mind to consider. Slowing yourself down a little bit, giving yourself a moment to restore and recover. Giving yourself this time for self-care. Take that long, slow breath in and that long, slow breath out. You begin to, you can move your hands and feet a little bit if you want to. If you're on the foam roller, lower one hip first, one side. And otherwise, you're all in the same place with your knees bent and roll over onto your side. And then when you're ready, you could use your hands and your arms and just slowly push yourself up. Coming into a seat that works for you. And I want to thank you, thank you for coming today. And thank you for your self-care. It's so important that we all get stronger, and it's so important that you realize you want to get stronger. I'm sending you with a prayer of loving kindness. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you feel happy. And may you live in peace. Namaste.